Hey guys, so I just wanted to make a video from inside the print studio because printmaking is like this beautiful, amazing art form that I feel like, it's not dead because clearly, people are still doing it. And within, the art world, there are still printmakers. But whenever I say that I'm a printmaker or that I'm doing my MFA in printmaking, 90% of the time or 99% of the time, the person I'm telling that to thinks that I'm talking about graphic design or these other art forms that it's not. And I am so passionate about it and I love it so much that I wanted to just make like a quick video showing like what I'm doing in here to give kind of an idea of what it is. So this is like pretty much entirely unrelated to fruit, but as a side note, I am wearing this really cute little tank top with pineapples on it, so that's the fruit for this video. That's about it. So printmaking, before, obviously the first press, we all know Gutenberg, printmaking was originally a form of communication. It was our way of making more than one copy of something to disseminate information, pretty much. But, now it's basically only used in the artistic sense. If someone chooses to make a t-shirt or to make a poster with traditional printmaking methods, like manual methods, it's probably an artistic choice. It's probably not because it's the most efficient or cheapest way to do it. But so the kind of printmaking that I do most, there's many, many, many different methods. So maybe some of you have done before, or at least have seen or can recognize like a woodcut or a lino cut, which is basically the same thing as a woodcut, but you're cutting into a block of linoleum instead of wood. It's like a little bit easier, less labor intensive. So I do some of those, but mostly what I do is etching and dry point, which are both done on metal plates. And the two metals that are used predominantly are copper and zinc. So right now I'm working on this copper plate. This is the drawing that I've done on it. I just finished it, so I'm going to put it in the acid tomorrow, which is how you actually etch into it. So I'll get into that. So anyways, so this is, you can see on the back, this is, no, there's already covering on that. Never mind. I'll show you this one instead. So this is a copper plate. This is a much larger one, obviously. But you can use this giant metal plate cutter to cut them into smaller pieces. And so they come in these big sheets. You cut them in pieces, size you want. So if you're making an etching, and that's copper, and then there's zinc. Here, I'll show you a zinc plate too. That's zinc. This has some stuff on it already that I need to scrape off, but I'm using all these ooh, that one's bent too. I'm using all these used plates because when I got here, I don't have a car, so I'm not going to pick up plates, and there are all these scrap ones that people have gotten rid of, so I got free metal. So you're making an etching. Means that you're using acid to do the manual labor for you. So instead of making marks in the plate with, like when you do dry point, use a diamond head. I don't have that tool here, but it's basically like, this is an etching needle, and a diamond head's similar, but the tip is strong enough that you can just carve directly into the plate that you're using. And with etching, instead of doing that, and that means, dry point is just that one step, like you just draw into it and then you can print it. Whereas with etching, you're basically having chemicals make the grooves in the plate for you. So I coated this plate with this black stuff because, see, I mean, you saw the copper plate, it's not the same color, right? So this this black stuff on here is called ground, hard ground, and you basically paint that on there. It's like a protective layer. The acid will not etch through the ground. And then you draw into the ground. And anywhere that you make these lines, that whole drawing is going to come out as being etched into the plate. So there will be, you know, an indent basically in the plate. So once you put this in the acid, you etch it usually for about 20 to 30 minutes. I mean, you can do much less than that or much more, depending on how dark you want your line. When you take it out of the acid, then I'm going to wipe off all this black stuff, this hard ground, and then polish it and kind of clean the plate off of it. And then I'm going to have those lines in there, and you can, you know, usually you can't really see them right when they're fresh out of the acid like that because there's no like color in them. But if you then ink it, you'll see all those lines in there. So, but if you like hold, and if you hold up to the light too, you can kind of check like if you made the lines correctly and if you want to change something. And that's the nice thing about printmaking too, is like nothing's permanent on a plate. You can always change it. But anyways, then you ink a plate, which is like a whole nother process. Takes forever when you're not very good at it, like I'm not. I mean, you know, I'm not in the group right now. So anyways, ink your plate. Then there are these presses. I could actually show you. Attach that. Let's see. This is like such a different video for me to do. So this is one press. It's a pretty large one. So basically this huge roller here is what like presses the plate into the paper. And then that's what transfers the ink that was in those little grooves on the plate to the paper. And you so basically lay your plate on here face up, inked. You lay a piece of paper on top of it, and then you crank it through this huge press. And then when it comes out the other end, it's the ink that was in the grooves on your plate is transferred to the paper, and usually really cleanly, and it's pretty awesome. I just love printmaking. So, what else could I add to that? It's a really, really long process. It takes forever. I've spent the last 3 days in here, and I'm just now like done. I mean, not the whole day, but you know, a few hours each day. I've just finished making that drawing on that plate because first I had to scrape off this other image that was on it because it was a used plate. And then I had to burnish it, and then I had to polish it, and then I had to ground it, and then I drew on it. So tomorrow I'm going to be able to put it in the acid, which is in another room. I can't really show you because it's not set up right now. But basically, there are just these trays. You use different types of acid for different types of metal. So there's acid for copper plates, and there's acid for zinc plates, and they each take a little bit different, like length of time to etch properly. And yeah, so then what else could I tell you? That's pretty much, that's the main thing that I do is etching, which is the process that I just explained, which if you didn't get it, that's perfectly fine, because someone explained it to me like 10 times and I didn't understand until I actually did it, and then I was like, oh, okay. But I just learned by doing. I'm that kind of person. Yeah, I love printmaking, and I mean, it's just such a cool medium, and when I don't have facilities like this available to me, I'm just drawing, and I love drawing, but this way I get to draw on a plate, and then there's like this whole other element of basically chance, because there are all these little marks that end up getting made on your plate, and then they just transfer into your image, and it just adds this whole other amount of like character to it, and yeah, I just really love it, and I'm so excited to be back doing it again. And yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to say. I'm sorry, this is like a 10-minute video of me just talking about art and nothing that you're used to talking about. Is there anything else I want to add? That's pretty much it. pretty much it. So this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 3 years, basically. In my MFA, making prints. That is about it. I hope you guys are having a good evening. And I'm probably going to go home soon, but just wanted to share that little tidbit of information with you. This whole artist thing is like the entire other half of me. It's like this whole other dichotomy that I won't even get into, but I'm basically just, half of me is the sunny fruitarian, like, chipper person, and then the other half of me is like very different. I like to be holed up in a studio for hours at a time by myself, listening to metal and and working on metal at the same time. So yeah, maybe I'll get into that one day. I have a split personality or something. Anyways, love you. Talk to you later. Okay, bye.